Christine's now ready for her first use of CPAP. The first time you use it will be the most unsettling. There's a way around that. One of the things that you can do is take some deep breaths in and out through your nose. If you open your mouth, the air pressure will go in through the back of your nose and straight out your mouth, and it will feel unusual, to say the least. A lot of people are concerned that they won't be able to keep their mouth closed when they're asleep. In actual fact, there is a reflex that makes you keep your mouth closed if you apply pressure to the back of the throat. And it's that reflex that lifts the tongue up to stop the flow of air coming out of your mouth that we rely on to do part of the work for the CPAP, because it tensions the tongue base. And if the tongue base has been tensioned, it means that it can't collapse when you're asleep. So not only are we using the air pressure to support the airway, we're also relying on the lifting of the tongue to stop the flow of air out of your mouth, which you have absolutely no control over. Every single patient that sits down on this couch breathes through the mouth at some point. You can't teach yourself to not breathe through your mouth when you're asleep, but you don't need to. Your body already knows how to do it, and we rely on that. When I first turn the machine on, I want you to take a deep breath in and out, only through your nose, to start off with. So here we go, starting the machine. I'll just wait for a couple of seconds for the airflow to start, and then attach the hose. Now, ordinarily, you would already have the hose attached. So deep breath in, and out through your nose, in through your nose, out through your nose. By doing this, and out, you're doing several things. One, you're stretching all of the nerves that are in your ribs that are telling you how much pressure you're breathing at, and you're overcoming that resistance. So you're teaching your body straight away that you can breathe against the pressure. The other thing that you're doing is that you're making sure that you do breathe in and breathe all the way out. When people first use CPAP, sometimes they feel quite tense and nervous. It's an unknown, and that's quite natural. But when you're tense and nervous, you tend to lift your shoulders, you tend to breathe in more than you breathe out, and you slowly fill your lungs up with air until you feel like you're breathing from a tiny little space at the top of your lungs. In fact, you are. We call it top breathing. And it will make you feel breathless. If you feel when you've got the mask on that you need to take a deep breath in through your mouth, like a gasp, it's probably because you're top breathing. It's probably because you're anxious. And a way to get over that feeling of anxiety is to breathe in and then out hard through your nose. And then that sensation should disappear straight away. Excellent. What I want you to do now is open your mouth and say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
There we go. So you can talk with the mask on. There's nothing stopping you from talking. You talk a little bit like Donald Duck, and that's because you're having to make a closure at the back of your throat to allow yourself to talk, but you can do it. And it's quite fun sometimes, once you've got over the initial novelty, to recite the alphabet and see how far through you can get before you hit a letter that you can't say easily. I can get about as far as B. B. Try saying B.
A, B, C,
fine.
D.
My wife
E,
can usually go to M.
G, H, I, J, K, L, M.
There we go. That's the one that usually gets most people. So have a bit of fun with the mask. If you're watching television or reading or getting used to it well before you go to bed, now's the time to pull it away from your face, see what it feels like with the air blowing in your eyes, open your mouth, let the air come out, see what that feels like, undo the hose to show yourself that if you need to, you don't have to rip the mask off, you don't have to undo it, just unpull the hose and you can breathe and talk normally. So if you want to have a conversation, this is how you have a conversation. Most people though put the CPAP mask on when they're turning the lights out and they're ready for sleep. Now the mask's fitted, the machine's ready to go. There are a bunch of controls on the top of the machine. There's a ramp button that's a slow start, drops the pressure down to a low pressure, then builds up over 15 minutes. I don't recommend that for most patients on the first night. I think it takes them longer to get used to the pressure than if they just start the machine and run it. The temperature control buttons turn the temperature up and down for the chamber. Again, I don't recommend them being used on the first night. Start with a neutral setting, take it from there. make changes in consultation with the therapist. The information button we don't need on the first night either. This displays the various settings for the machine. The button that's most important on night 1 is the start button and the stop button. The large button with bumps on the top so that you can feel it in the dark starts the machine, and then after you've slept with it and you've woken feeling refreshed in the morning, the same button stops the machine. So let's put the whole thing together. It's your first night using CPAP. You take the equipment home and get the CPAP machine out ready for bed. You've turned it on, used it for an hour or so, well before you're ready for bed, and you're quite comfortable with how it feels. So it's time for sleep. Make sure the machine's plugged in, make sure the chamber is pushed right in and the bar is up. The hose is attached and the cuff is down. The mask is attached and we already know it fits. So all you need to do when you're using CPAP is this. Put the mask on. And you can see Christine just straightening the top straps. Think of the top straps as being like a headband. Once you put the mask on, you can just run your fingers underneath if you want to, and down the bottom to make sure that it all fits. So you're in bed, you've got the hose running in from the side of the bed, up under your blankets, so it's all snuggled and warm. You're ready to go to sleep. Reach down, hit the start button. The machine starts up, snuggle down, head off to sleep. Sleep well, breathing well. Wake up in the morning feeling like a box of fluffies. Wake up, reach down, turn the machine off, take the mask off, throw it on the bed, go about your business. And that's how you use CPAP every night.